Humans have always liked comfort, sure. Couches, agreeable people, reruns of familiar shows, these are generally things that bring us to a place of no worries bliss. In a vacuum, this isn't a problem, but of course, we're not in a vacuum, we're in reality. And in reality, our addiction to comfort is a culture-wide epidemic that's ruining our lives. Because the entire universe full of comforts like echo chambers, Oreo delivery, and naked ladies now fits into our pockets, we have unprecedented instant access to every comfort we could ever want. Every escape, every source of empty joy, and every instant gratification is immediately accessible. As a result, our love of comfort has become a culture-wide addiction, which has become a culture-wide entitlement. Now you may be thinking, I'm not addicted to comfort, what the hell does that even mean? It's not ripping my life or society apart. Fuck this guy and his pale drama queen ass. I'll be as comfortable as I damn well please. Fine, I guess I'll just have to prove you wrong then. Thanks for blowing a hole in my day. Okay, so let's start by looking at one specific comfort that we have and asking ourselves this. Why does Facebook put us in our own political bubbles? Just for kicks? Because Zuckerberg enjoys going, haha, look at these people all divided, I don't understand social cues. Well, no. The bubbles exist because we demand the bubbles. We want to see what we know and already agree with. The possibility of being wrong makes us so uncomfortable that opposing views become our own personal horror movies. So we demand our bubbles, and the results of this are, of course, disastrous. Avoiding the other side prevents you from learning new facts or ideas that you might otherwise learn. It prevents you from hearing how somebody else is processing things or where they're going wrong, thereby preventing you from understanding where they're coming from. This just solidifies our beliefs more and more that the other side is a bunch of stupid assholes, because that's the most comfortable way to process somebody disagrees with me. It divides us, keeps us ignorant, and makes Thanksgiving even worse than we thought a holiday based around dry turkey, cranberry sauce, and genocide could possibly be. But make no mistake, our bubbles go far beyond Facebook algorithms. We carry our bubbles with us all the time. Your bubble can be anything. It can be some shitty entertainment that panders to you, or video games, or even just running away with your ears covered screaming la 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 la. But we all have our things. We all have something that we turn to in order to avoid parts of reality that we want to censor. Which is kind of pathetic. I mean, people bitch about college safe spaces, but they simply are the most literal version of a universal problem. Everyone, of all genders, colors, ages, and levels of fuckability, retreats to their safe space, or bubble, when they're uncomfortable. And this certainly goes beyond politics. I mean, we use our bubbles to deflect everything we don't want to experience, from someone discussing our faults to being proven wrong, to an Instagram post featuring a girl with abs doing well in life. We all have our things. I mean, pretty much all of society has accepted at this point that if something isn't comfortable for you, if it's too offensive, degrading, boring, contrary, or has too many references to foreskin, the solution for you is to get away from it. Simply avoid this section of reality, even if it means you're not acknowledging the fact that your boyfriend currently smells like strange perfume and fuck mist. As a result, instead of actually fixing personal or worldwide problems, we watch these problems deflect off of our bubbles and collide with the rest of the world. They melt ice caps, they balloon debt, and they render us unable to evaluate our lives until we're already eating dead rats in a dumpster. These all ultimately result from our addiction to comfort. These come back to this idea that we feel entitled to feel nice and cozy all the time, and so we retreat to our bubbles guilt-free whenever anything threatening happens and solves zero actual problems. Our addiction also destroys our attention spans. We laugh about having bad attention spans all the time. LOL, I have ADD. Oh, look, a squirrel. Ha ha ha. Which, by the way, A+ comedy, buddy. Terrific. Hysterical. Every single time. But this really sucks because we're completely bombarded with stimulation every single day, and as a result, we have zero tolerance for anything that doesn't immediately stimulate us. This makes explanation, nuance, and often just basic reading really fucking difficult for us. And because we now suck so badly at taking in basic information, we receive outlandish, exaggerated, and disgustingly oversimplified information because that is the only way our spoiled-ass brains will pay attention to it. This is why the news has become infotainment, because you assholes won't watch it otherwise, and by you assholes I mean me. This is why pseudoscience is able to be passed around, because there's no fucking way any lay person is reading an actual study, so they're stuck reading their echo chamber's absurd interpretation of it. It's why cable news tries to make every news story ever feel like it's life or death, because otherwise, it won't stimulate you and you'll fucking ignore it. We need something to freak us out in order for us to pay attention to it. It's why, in many ways, we know less than ever, despite having more access to information than ever. It all comes from the fact that if something doesn't stimulate us, we're not comfortable. Therefore, somewhere deep inside, we think it therefore doesn't deserve our attention, and we feel no sense of responsibility to make that extra effort to shove it into our brains. As a result, our brains are filled with snippets and headlines and almost no facts. It all comes back to our addiction to comfort. This is also why we suck at adulthood. We're the most anxious generation ever, despite having still pretty great lives, because we're so concealed from reality that as soon as some version of it outside of our bubble of comfort hits us, it's devastating. This is also why we don't take action enough, be it political, professional, or personal. We'd rather be comfortable than make progress or do something to affect change or tell someone how we really feel. Sitting is just so much nicer than all of that, you know? So let's review this little running tally. So far, our addiction to comfort wrecks our ability to take in information, helps us avoid interacting with reality, enables our cowardice, makes adulthood feel unattainable, keeps us ignorant to everything that wouldn't immediately appeal to us, makes us less tolerant of real diversity, and makes us lazy, shiftless pile of human garbage assholes. So, okay, already not great, but I've actually got some worse news for you. The longer that we do nothing with respect to the virus that we're all infected with, the worse it gets. And we've already been doing nothing for a long time, so we're all pretty fucking sick right now. The good news is that until this leads to irreparable damage, like you die from being fused to your couch or the earth bursts into flames, both of which will eventually happen, we can still do something about this. We can still fix it. So to find out how, check out my full post, How to Conquer Our Addiction to Comfort.